What's up, Hard Hustle Printing? What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Tonight we're going to be working on these two right here. It's going to be a t-shirt and then a sweater. I'm going to show you how I press this sweater because it has a lot of thick seams on it. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to press that. First, I want to start off by saying welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome to Hard Hustle Printing. I hope that I could teach you something, or if you could just leave a comment down below. If I'm doing something that you know how to do a lot easier, hey, let me know. I'm all willing to learn. In the last video, I told you I was getting ready to press. I was gonna press my sweater. I haven't done it yet. It's still here. I haven't done it. Eventually, I'll get to it. But like I said, I got these two right here, and then I have a bunch of red shirts that I got to do too. But we'll save that for another video. We'll just work on these two tonight. Also, congratulations to Carlos Gonzalez. He was the one that won the giveaway that I did, my first giveaway. He picked the logo, so I sent that to him. Hopefully he's got it already now that Christmas is over with. If he hasn't got it, let me know if you haven't got it yet. I haven't checked where I got it from, if it's been delivered. Also, like in the last video I did with the QE6000, you saw when I was taping the vinyl together, how I told you I had to do my homework. If some of y'all can help me, I just posted the other video right now, so I don't have any comments, or I haven't been able to look to see if anybody's had anything to help me. But I did do my homework and I did learn a lot about this cutter. So I'm going to show you how I learned how to use the expand feature. So I'll show you that, and I'm going to show you some other cool stuff that it got on there that the R Series 2 doesn't. And then after I show you that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to knock the sweater out and this t-shirt, and then we'll end this video. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn it on, let it do its check. Alright, so it's telling us to load the media. I already put it in there. So I'm going to show you how I got this thing to read from the edge to the edge. Okay, so let's go ahead, clamp this down. It's telling us to load it. It's going to find it. Alright, so like I told you last time, it's got these three features right here. Since I do have a roll on there, one thing you don't want to do is hit number 3. Because it's going to read from here to here, and then it's going to shoot your whole roll out until it gets to the end of the roll to find out how long your actual sheet is. So if you sit there and you roll this whole thing out, you have to re-roll the whole thing. So make sure if you have a roll in there, you don't hit sheet. So we're going to go to number 1. So what it's going to do is it's going to measure it. So I need to adjust the roller. I forgot I was doing a vinyl decal last night, so I need to adjust this. Let me do that real quick. Okay, so I got the roller set up. You can see I got one here and I got one here. So like I told you last video, you have to set these up over the blue markers. What the blue markers has is it has these right here. See if I can get. It has these grooves right here. That it has to sit. These rollers have to sit on those grooves. If it's not sitting on those grooves, it's not going to work. This one is close. We'll see what it does. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to hit front edge. So it's going to measure. It's going to measure. What it does is measuring the length of this. So if we look, it's telling us that we only have 10.9, so almost 11 inches of vinyl. So only measured 11 inches. So if you go into LXI and you put 12 inches in there, it's only going to cut 11 inches. So we're losing a whole inch over here. So I'm going to show you how you can fix that. So what you have to do is you have to press this pause menu right here. And then we're going to come into number 3, the area. And then we're going to go to number 1 where it says expand. So right now the expand limit is set to default. So what we want to do is we want to come and we want to change that. So we're going to go as high as it'll go. I think the highest it goes is 1/2 inch. You don't want to go negative because then you're losing more than the 10 inches. So it almost hits 1/4 of an inch. So we're going to do that. We're going to set that, and then we're going to see what it gives us at this time. Okay, if you saw it, it went up to 11.7. Let's go back to the main. See where we're at. 11.7. So we got a little bit more out of our vinyl. We still don't have the whole 12. So that's the limit that you could cut right there is 11.7 on the y-axis that is showing. So that's one thing that you have to do if you're trying to get to maximize your vinyl on there. Another thing you can do is, instead of sending, if you have a 12-inch piece that's supposed to go right here, right? And then you're only going 6 inches this way, you could flip it to where it's 6 inches this way and 12 inches that way. You don't actually lose it because you could use it for another project, but you will. Instead of just using this little piece right here, you're going to end up using this piece and not wasting it, but you know what I mean. So you would have to resize, make sure that you resize your art in LXI or whatever that you're using. It can't be more than 11.7. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is that this thing has, if you look right here, it says condition number 1. So if I come over here and I hold down enter, you're going to see it comes up with a whole bunch of condition numbers 1 through 8. So those are, you can set up different settings so like for me, 1 is for my Thermoflex Plus, right? I use that for Thermoflex. And then if I press number 2, I use number 2 to cut vinyl decals. And let me show you what the difference is. So right now it's set on number 1. There's a way you could change this name to where you can name it actual Thermoflex Plus. But I haven't been able to find out how to do that. If any of you know how to do that, let me know. But I'm thinking that you have to actually use the software that comes with this. LXI doesn't have an option to change this name, so I would have to leave it like that. As long as I know condition number 1, I know I use Thermoflex Plus, and condition number 2, right now I'm only using 2 types of vinyl. So number 2 I use for vinyl decals. So let me show you the difference in the two. So here's number 1. Then when you come here, so once you're into the one that you want, how do you change these settings? So you come over here to condition test. Press that button and watch what happens. So now we have 1, which is the condition. You can also go to 2. Well, you can go to 2, 3, 4, whatever. So we're going to 1. So we're on 1. And now we're going to go to number 2, the tool. So with the tool right here, you can pick what type of blade you're going to use. So how do I know what type of blade I'm using? Okay, so whenever you got your blade, it tells you right there, the CB09UB1. So if you look here, CB09U. So that's the one that we're using, right? If you had to change it, you can come in here and change it to any blade that you had. It even has other. I guess if it fits, I guess you could use it. This one also came with the pin. So if I was using the pin, I would use the pin. But this is the one we're using, so we're just going to leave it there. We're going to cancel that because we're not changing it. And then you can come here to number 3 and change the speed. So there it is right there. If you look on top right here, condition number 1, the speed, we have it at 30. It's actually pretty fast when it cuts. I haven't had no problems with it cutting at 30, so we'll just leave it at that. So we're going to hit 4. We're going to hit 4 just to cancel. And then you got the force right here. So we'll go to number 4. And condition number 1 is set to 13. And then with the up and down arrows, you could change it. So if you had something like, let's see, if you had some glitter and you needed to go thicker, you could change it there. So I'm going to leave it at 13 because 13 is cutting the Thermoflex Plus that I have. So again, we're going to come back down here and we're going to hit 4 to cancel it. So now we're going to go into condition code number 2 because I told you that's for my vinyl decals. So we'll come there, go to there, and then we're going to set it, and now we're there. So now if we look, we're in condition 2. So now we're going to look at the tool. Same, it has the same, it's using the same blade. So we're going to get out of this one. We're going to come to the speed. So with this one, I turned the speed down to half of that. Because, you know, vinyl decals is a lot thinner. So I didn't want it to start cutting. And then you know how sometimes when the blade gets stuck to the sticker, it starts to peel it up. I haven't had that problem with this cutter. So, but still, I wanted to turn it down a little bit because 30 is, you'll see when I cut these, the sweater and the t-shirt, that you'll see that 30 is really fast. So we're going to get out of here. We're going to press number 4. And now we're going to go to the force. This is the big one right here. So if you look at Thermoflex Plus, I have a 13. I'm not using any of these, so don't worry about any of these numbers. So I'm only using these two as for right now. So if you look at this one, it's set to 9. And 9 is good because I cut a whole bunch of vinyl decals yesterday. Let me show you. So if you look at these decals right here that I cut yesterday. You look at these decals and you look at the back, it didn't cut through at all at 9. When I used it for the first time, it was still set to 13, and when I cut, it cut, not only did it cut the vinyl sticker, but it also cut the backing, so I just wasted it. But here's some that I did. I gotta send these off. But if you look at the back, there's no cuts in it. So if you're using this cutter and you're still confused on the force to use, 9 would be good. If you're using something thicker, you can always adjust it. But for what I'm using, 9 is perfect. So we're gonna get out of here. Also, right here, let me show you. This is a cool feature right here. If you don't know if you're, so if you press this right, if I had to press this right now, it's going to do a test cut. So if I press the left arrow key, right, it's going to give me a triangle. It's going to cut me a triangle on here. But I don't want to cut this because this is actual vinyl, not sticker vinyl. If I press this one right here, if I press the right arrow key, if I press this right arrow key, it's going to give me 3 cuts. So this middle one right here is going to be force 9. Right here. Then it's going to give me 2 other cuts. This one is going to be +1. So this one's going to be force 10. And this one's going to be at force 8. So if you're not too sure, set this up to what you think. Force 9, and then it's going to do 8, 9, and 10. So you'll know you'll have 3 different cuts, and then you can look at the back of your vinyl and see which one here is good. So if you cut it and 9 is not enough, you can go to 10. If 9 is too much, you can go to 8. If 8 is still too much, you can set it to 8 or 7. Set it to 7. If you set it to 7, recut it, you're going to get 6, 7, and 8. So that's just a cool little thing that I saw, that I read about too. So, alright, so here's what else I wanted to show you. We're going to come back to the menu. We're going to come back to the area number 3. And we're going to come down to rotate. So, whenever you click rotate here, leave it on the off position. Because here's why I'm saying this. If you mirror it on your computer, you flip it on your computer, and then you come here and you turn it on. So on your computer, you do it this way, and then you come here, you turn it on, it's turning it back this way. So you're gonna get the image. If you're supposed to flip it, it's gonna be wrong because you reflipped it again. So this function here, I wouldn't use it if you have it on your computer or on the program that you're using. Don't use it on this one. Also with the number 3, the rotate, off and on, leave it off, because you could rotate it on your program there too. Just if you have to rotate it, like I was telling you, if it's not gonna fit this way, you can always turn it long ways this way and then print it. So if you were to flip it here, if you were to rotate it here and then come over here and rotate it again, it's gonna rotate it back this way. So a couple of these functions here, if you could use them on your program, use them on your program, don't use them here. If we come here to the menu again and we hit number 4 for the media, then we have right here number 1, pre-feed. So we could set this up to, right now it's set for 3 feet. If you wanted to set it farther, you can, depending on the size that you have. What this does is it will pre-feed 3 feet of vinyl all the way to the edge right here, and then it's going to shoot it back, and then it'll leave this gap right here. It will leave the gap just like that in there for you, so you won't have to worry about if this thing is being pulled while it's being cut. So that's one of the cool things. Let's go back. And then number 2, the auto pre-feed, I have it turned off, and then there's the length that you could change it to. The page length, you could change that, 196 feet. If you want to change it, you could change it. Initial feed is set to off. That's where if I turned it on, it would shoot that 3 feet out, and then it would take it back to the edge. I have it turned off. And then the feed speed, hit 1, it's on normal. For normal, it's pretty slow, so I can just imagine the slow would be even slower, so I don't mess with that one either. So with that being said, those are some of the features that the QE6000 has. I'm pretty sure there's plenty more that this thing does. I'm still learning it. Some of the things that I like is when you hit front edge, it measures, it reads the size of your vinyl, shoots it back, it brings it right to the edge for you. You don't have to sit there and line it up. Another thing that I like is if you just have a little piece, if you just have like a little piece of vinyl and you stick it in there and you're not sure, like, oh, I'm gonna make this, I'm pulling up this thing on LXI, I wonder, is it gonna fit on there? Yeah, you could probably get a tape measure and measure it, but this thing takes away all the math. All you do is put it on there, hit sheet, it brings it out, it measures the length and the width, it tells you exactly how big it is. You can go back to LXI. If you have it too small, you can make it bigger. If you have it too big, you can make it small, and you don't have to worry about wasting vinyl, because you could just send it and it's going to. Another feature that I like is that you could set up to 8 presets on there. So like me, I'm only using 2. I'm using one for Thermoflex Plus, and I'm using one for the vinyl decals. I'm also using the logical white pill that Sighwarehouse sent me. I'm using that one, but I don't have to change the preset because it cuts exactly the same Thermoflex Plus does. So, but if you're using Caesar EasyWeed, you're using glitter vinyl, you're using Thermoflex Plus, you're using your vinyl decals, 8 different presets, you don't have to go in there and change your blade and fix it. All you gotta do is go in there, number 2 is for decals. You hit number 2, it's automatically gonna adjust. As soon as you send it, it's gonna cut it for you. Then if you have the same decal that you're gonna cut, but now you're cutting it for a shirt, just go back in there, hit whatever preset you got and cut it, and it's gonna cut it for you. So another cool feature that I read about that the QE6000 does is that it will cut out printed vinyl stickers. If you had a printer and you printed out your decals, you will be able to put registration marks on there, load it onto the QE6000, it'll read your registration marks, it'll read what you got to cut, and then depending on the gap that you want to put for your vinyl decal, it will cut it out for you. And then you can just cut it out and then peel it off and stick it wherever you want. You got your little waterproof or vinyl decal that you can stick wherever you want. So those are some of the features. Like I said, it's not all of them. I'm pretty sure from what I've been reading, there's a lot of different things that this thing does. I'm still learning it. I just got it a couple weeks ago. If there's anything that you know that I don't know yet, that I haven't talked about, hey, let me know, because I'm willing to learn too. So, okay, with that being said, we're going to go ahead. We're going to start up LXI, and then we're going to pull up the 2 logos that I have for the sweater and the blue t-shirt. And I'm not going to show you the process because you saw the process in the last video of how I took a JPEG dropped it into Adobe Photo. I dropped it into Photoshop. I did some stuff there. Put it into Adobe Illustrator. The Adobe Illustrator I use is AICC 2015. It's an older version. I haven't upgraded. I like this version. I know it, so I don't want to grab another one and have to learn it all over again. I'm pretty sure the new ones do more different things, but I know this one, so I'm not going to change it up. So I'm not gonna show you how I turned it into a vector again. If you want to know how to turn a JPEG into a vector, watch my last video. I'll show you there. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I want to take this sweater, measure the area that I'm gonna be printing on. So I'm gonna show you exactly how I do it. So I usually take the T-square and I put it here. Put this top arrow to the seam up here, just like a t-shirt. I want to measure how wide it is. So we look at this, we're sitting at about almost 10. Same on both sides. So we're sitting at about 20 inches. Here's the cool thing about a sweater is it got these little hooks up here. Not sure if you can see that or not. Right here, these two rings. It's got those two rings where the strings come out. So I use that as a center guide. So we're going about 20 inches wide. So the size that I'm going to do this is probably going to be around 12 inches. Because any farther you're going to starts to go under the arm. So I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to go about 12 inches wide on this one. Then if we look, like I said, I usually go about 3 inches from the top. So if I go 3 inches down to the bottom down here is about 15. So I'm going to go 12 inches, and then I'm just going to stretch it, see how far down it comes. But I know I can't go any farther than, I wouldn't want to go any farther than 14 inches. So 12, no farther than 14. So let's pull this up on the computer and see what it brings up. So that was the process on how I measure the sweater. Like I was saying, you don't want to go too big. If you go too big and then you put if you look from here to here, you got about 3 or 4, maybe 3 inches right here. So if I made the image 15 inches, next thing you know, you put your arm down, it's going to be underneath your arm. So I always try to keep it within the chest right here. So we're going to go, like I said, 12 inches. That's going to be a good size. 12 inches, and then we're going to spread it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. We're going to open up LXI. Keep them grouped. Remember, Control G. Keep them grouped. That's for Windows. That's for Windows operating system is Control G. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come here and we have to resize this to 12 inches. Right? Then we can click the background over here. We can hit this right here, and it's going to pull up our Design Central, and then we can resize the background. So we're going to trying to resize to see if I can get max out of this. The max distance, we're about at 12. Maybe I'll go 12 and a half. That's about it. If we arrange and we ungroup them, you're gonna see that these bears right here, all I did was wrote the name in the top of it, wrote the name on there and just left it like that. You can always come in here. If you'll see, like when I move the bear like I just did, the name is not there. When I put it back, the name is there. I can always come here, highlight it, and then come up here to remove overlap, cutout. If I hit cutout, now when I go and I move the bear, you're gonna see that the actual bear, the name is not into the bear anymore. It's actually cut out. Another thing you want to do, let me zoom in right here. Before you send this, you want to make sure you weld these letters. If you don't do a knockout or you don't take this out, if you don't do this cutout right here, you got to make sure you weld these letters right here. So these are actually going to be white bears on a black sweater. So I'm going to knock all these out because I don't want to make the mistake like I did on the last video where I did the wrong color. And this is what threw me off on the last video. This is what threw me off on the last video, is that I did exactly this right here. So what I'm going to do is now is I'm going to change the background. I'm going to change it to gray first. I'm going to change it to gray, and then I'm going to change all the bears to white. You could do each bear. You could just come here and throw it on the bear like that, or you can hold down shift, click the bear. Make sure you click the inserts also as you're holding down shift, and then click each bear, and then just hit white. All right, so now we got that. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to drop the black background in there. That's how I messed up the last time, is because I did the black Batman with the white background, and then I actually ended up cutting it like that. So now we're set to exactly the way the sweater is going to be cut. We got the right size, and we're good to go. So I'm going to save this one real quick as it is. And then I'm going to bring up the other one that we're going to be cutting. And that's exactly how that one's going to look. So it's going to be this blue shirt with the white aloha. This one's already done. And we're going to do this one. I'm going to measure this one the same way. I won't show you the process. I'll just measure it, and then we'll get that one cut. But this is for a female, so this is probably the right size. I can move it over a little bit. Remember, to maximize your vinyl, you always want to go to the 0 mark, the 0 up here and the 0 down here, and then bring it as far down as you can. So we got it right there. Then we can go up a little bit more. You want to keep it within the blues, because anything outside is not going to cut. So, all right, so we're good there. These are actually vinyl, heat transfer vinyl. So we need to make sure whenever we do this that we flip it. So one thing I like about this roll is, if you look at this side, this is the shiny side that doesn't get cut, and this is the side that does get cut. So whenever they send you the roll of this, they already send it to you. The side that's going to be cut, they send it to you facing up already. So as you put it into the vinyl cutter and it's moving around your cutter, it stays down. All right? If you're not understanding, I'm going to show you. So this helps a lot whenever it's measuring. Whenever you hit on the QE6000, you hit front edge, it's able to come and bring it back right to the edge where it needs to, and it'll stop right there. Now let me show you what I'm talking about. This one, say for instance, you ordered this vinyl right here. This is the side that's going to be cut, not this side. So if you look, a lot of my vinyl has white. Has white. It's because I started getting my vinyl and flipping it around, because now this is the shiny side. This shiny side is facing on the outside. The side that is going to be cut is on the inside. So if I put this into my vinyl cutter, look what it's doing. It's rolling up on me. So what I'm starting to do now is I'm getting my vinyl and I'm rolling it the opposite way, so that whenever I put this into the vinyl cutter, right, and it's trying to read the edge, it's going to stop right here. And it's going to say this is the edge of my vinyl when this is actually the edge of my vinyl. So then I'll have to sit there and hold it down so that I can measure the edge of it so that it will get the right measurement. So if you're using the QE6000 and you're trying to get that measurement, the best thing to do is to grab your vinyl, flip it over, roll it up this way, store it this way. If you look, that's why I said there's a lot of white vinyl back there. It's not white, it's just turned inside out now so that it can read it, so it'll work. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to load this in here. Like I was showing you over there, if you look, see how it stays rolled down, not rolling up. Let me show you the other one real quick before we cut these. Load this pink back in here. So if I load this up here and I follow my lines like I said, come there, we do it, and then see how it rolls up. Now watch this. I'm going to hit number 1. You can't see it, but I'm going to hit number 1. Front edge, watch this. You got to hold it down so it can locate it. Look where the front edge is at. Look how much I'm losing because it rolls up. So make sure, like I said, roll it up the other way. Roll it up backwards. Roll it up backwards so you're able to use it. This one back here, you can see it, the glossy side is already down. So whenever I load this in there, look at that. Stays with the cutter, so I don't have to worry about it rolling up on me. So I'm going to load this media in here. I'm going to hit front edge again. So I'm hitting at 11.69, so I put that at 12.5, so I know it's not going to cut it. So what I need to do is I'm going to come over here to LXI. I'm going to close out this one. Save, yeah. I'm going to open this bear back up. And so this is what I was talking about here, is that, so with this picture I'm going to flip it to go this way because it's only cutting at, it's only going to be 11 inches this way. So 11 inches this way, and I'm going to cut it 12 inches that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it when I get ready to cut it. So I'm going to come over here. Right, so we want to make sure up here we're on condition 1 because that's what we're cutting. We're not cutting. This is it's not thermoflex. It's not thermoflex, but it is the logical universal white pill. So I'm going to use that to cut. Make sure we got it the right way. We do. Make sure we give some slack in the back. I've already got that. So here's our bear right here. So if I cut it like this, it's not gonna cut. We gotta flip it. And then what I want to do too is, because it's only gonna cut 11, about a little over 11.5 inches. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit this button here and I'm gonna flip it that way. Because this way it can cut the 12 inches. This way it's only gonna cut 11.5. But we're sitting at 11.69, so we should be good. So let's go ahead and send that over. See how it stays rolled down, nice and smooth. As you can see, that's what the noise, that's what you hear, is that's the actual noise that it makes. It doesn't make a lot of noise. This is real time. I'm not making it go fast. I'm just leaving it the way it is, and we're done. So I'm gonna show you another cool thing that this thing came with. Give me 1 second. There's the edge of the bear. Want to make sure we're not going to cut any of it. We can back it up, save some vinyl. So we're good. So like, remember I told you I use this? I would stick it in this groove right here, slide it across. Well, this one actually came with this one right here. It came with this one. And I thought it was for cutting vinyl, but actually with this groove that it has in there, it has the same purpose. So you just take your blade out, stick it in that hole, that gap, and just run it right across there. It's going to give you that straight line also. So that's what this is used for. If you have it, and you have it with this cutter, that's what it's used for. One of the things that it's used for. I'm pretty sure you can use it for a whole lot more different things. Alright, so that one's done. Now we're just going to go back. We're going to hit front edge. It's going to measure it out. Okay, we're on the front edge. Now I'm going to get ready. I'm going to send the Aloha with the palm tree over. And we're going to get that one done. Alright, so I got this one set up. I measured the shirt like I did the sweater. Got this one ready. We're doing this one 9 inches by 5 inches. So we're going to send this one over. Same thing with this one. We got to make sure we flip it. We got it flipped. This one's only 9 inches, so it is going to fit. It's going to cut this whole piece right here. So next thing I'm going to do, it's set up with the QE6000. We're going to hit send. And here we go. You'll be able to see the detail in this palm tree. This is going to come out pretty good. Here's the actual sticker that I made for them. You see the detail in that palm tree. So this is going to be a t-shirt. Should come out pretty good. See, this cutter is pretty quiet. I like it. That one is done. So same thing. So after you get done, if you want to view it, you can always come up here, hit number 1. It's going to shoot it out a little bit. You can bring it up, you can look at it. If you wanted to cut another one, if you had multiple copies of this that you wanted to cut, but you wanted to see this, all you got to do is hit home. it's gonna take it right back to where it left off, and all you have to do is send it again. So if you wanted to cut multiple copies, do it on the program. If you look up here, if you look at this button right here, it says copy. If you hit it, sometimes when I was reading up, it says that sometimes it won't work right. So the best thing to do is use your program. If you got these functions in your program, use your program instead of using them on here. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to weed these out.
Next, we're going to weed them. So let's get started.
Okay, now you can put that down and start pulling it with your hand slowly. You're good, keep pulling it.
No, my hair got in the way.
Oh. Pull the bottom, yeah. Pull the whole thing off. Okay, you're good. Alright, so here's this so far. Now she's going to weed the inside of the letters. Slide that over. So there is the first one. Now we're going to start on the bears, the big one. Alright, Trinity is going to weed the bears. Alright, so there's the bears. Next thing she's going to do is she's going to come in here and she's going to weed the names out. So you're going to grab this and then pull it up. So now she's gonna come in here in the big bear, and it says Mama Bear, so she's gonna weed out Mama Bear. Pull over the hand so you don't.
Are you gonna mute it?
No.
Where's the other word?
Right here. That letter's not connected to those, so be careful. Right here.
I can't see them.
So grab this piece and then go that way slowly.
I have to see that.
And the M. Alright, so then here's this one. As you can see, it's flipped. So whenever we press it, it's going to go this way. And there are the names that are going to go on there. Looks good. So we're going to put this one on the black sweater. And we're going to put the other one on the blue shirt. Thank you, Trinity. Okay, so we got the shirt on there. We're going to do this blue one first. This will be the quick one. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put on there, take the moisture out of it. Then we're going to measure it. Remember, with the V-neck, this is a V-neck shirt, so it comes down a little bit farther. So you don't want to go 3 inches down, because if you remember, if you know, a V-neck shirt already hangs down low enough, and then if you put it even lower, it's going to be too low. So with this one, I'm just going to go about 1 inch, maybe 2 inches down. So we're just going to find the middle of it. So this one's pretty easy because the V-neck here has the point down here to where the V-neck is at. So we're going to just go there. We'll go about 2 inches. So we did a 8-inch piece, a 9-inch piece. So we measure this up 4.5 inches on each side. Should be good. Make sure there's nothing stuck to it. So we got it where we want it. 4.5. I always hold the corner of it. Then I remove my T-square out of the way, and it falls right into place. So then we're going to get our Teflon paper, grab it, and we're going to give it a full press. This is the Logic Universal White. It's a warm peel, so we can just peel it off. We're good to go with this one. So I always like to come back, get that crease out of there. Just give it a quick press to get that crease out. There's the first one. Alright, so the next one we're going to be doing is going to be the sweater. We're doing another sweater. So what I like to do is get all this bulky stuff out the way. Move these strings out of the way. Then what else I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I am going to stick this inside of it. Just because it has, I don't know if you can see it, but because this has the pocket here, it has this thick seam in there, so I want to put this on the inside. Then we're going to do the same thing with this. We're going to give it a quick press. Got to adjust this a little bit because I stuck that pad in there. Alright, we pre-pressed it. So we should be good. Now we got to get this thing centered. We're going to use a T-square again. We're going to go off these two eyelets right here. Alright, so remember we have a big piece that's going on here. Wanted to double check and make sure it's going to fit. I hadn't looked at it. So we're going to come here off the bottom of this seam right here. We're going to come right there. We're going to look at our size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these arms up and I'm looking at this seam right here to see what our size is. So we got 10.5 and 10.5. So this right now is in the middle. So then I'm going to lay my picture on here about 3 inches down. Because it's so big, I'm going to go about 2 inches from the top of the bear right here. So the way I'm going to center this one is with these 4 bears right here. I'm going to find the middle between these bears, and that's where I'm going to line them up. So I'm going to go right there. And if we look, we're about 6 inches here, 6 inches here, give or take a little bit, but we're good. Again, I'm going to hold it. The backing on this vinyl is not sticky. Depending on the backing of your vinyl, if it's sticky and you lay it on top of this, it could get stuck. So you got to be careful with that. If the backing of this is sticky, it's going to stick to this. Alright, so I got my picture on there. Now I'm going to move everything out of the way. Make sure you got these out of the way. Everything looks good. Make sure you don't have no excess vinyl on there that you don't want. Once you're good, you can go ahead and press it. Full press. It's a warm pill, but when you pill, you always want to be careful just to make sure that everything's stuck. So there's number 2. They both came out good. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to shut this camera off, and we're going to sit back down. Thanks for watching, everybody. To recap in this video, we went over some of the features that are in the QE6000. And we did the sweater here, and we did the shirt tonight. I got to box them up and ship them out tomorrow, along with all those stickers that we made. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody who's watched. Appreciate all my subscribers. All my new subscribers, like I said, welcome to the Heart and Hustle family. If you have any questions, you can either write me here on YouTube, or you can either write me here on my YouTube channel, or you can email me at heartandhustleprinting@yahoo.com. There'll be a link down below. And then you can also, I started an Instagram page. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, or if you want to follow us on Facebook, we always posting stuff there. You'll be able to see this stuff before it even comes out to YouTube, because I can record this, but the process of editing the whole video takes a lot longer. I can show little clips here and there on Instagram and Facebook of what I'm doing at the current time. So you can follow me there. So if you have any questions, again, email me, let me know. So thank you, everybody, for watching and staying tuned. And until next time, keep pressing.